Hello,
Hey, Deacon, how are you?
Carmen. How are you?
Very well, thanks so much. Thanks for your time.
Oh,
It's a pleasure we can talk about 13 Reasons Why.
yeah, definitely a pleasure. I love all the video game collection you have. Is that a video game or Blu-ray?
Those are movies. The video games are in another room.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I still love it physical. So,
yeah, definitely. Of course, so do I.
yeah, that's so, it's nostalgic, right?
It is.
So, how's Angel doing?
Oh, she's doing great. Thanks for asking. She's like right there. Can you see her? Right there.
Oh,
She's
yes.
in the
I can
pillow.
see
Yeah,
it.
she's
I
in
think so.
sleeping in right there. Angel. Yeah, she's doing really good.
You know what? I have
Yeah,
I have a friend who's also conducting interviews, and I believe like she is so much into dogs. If she would have conducted this interview, this would have been like 2 minutes
yeah,
about you and 50 about Angel. So
yeah. That's great. I
yeah,
would prefer it that way.
yeah, we schedule something.
Yeah, yeah, at least.
So I thought we could start off with some fun, easy questions, and then
Okay.
we could dig into some other territories.
Sure, I'm excited.
So I was wondering, compared to Winston, how good or bad are you at bowling?
Oh, I'm an excellent bowler. I have my
Really?
own bowling ball. It's initialed, and but I don't think I think I'm better than I actually. No, I'm a lot worse than I think I am, and no, it's a fun sport. I really do. I play with my friend John, and we got our own bowling balls when we were doing 13 Reasons Why. We just had a lot of fun bowling. It was like a place just to kind of go and chuck something and break some stuff without being so destructive.
Right, right. I was actually hoping you were bad at it, so I wouldn't be alone. But yeah.
Well, we
Well,
should play sometime. Whenever I'm over there, if you have bowling alleys.
absolutely, we have some here, so we find the spot to learn, and so he can teach me and show me how to drop the ball and not myself too. So yeah.
Yeah, one
Um,
drop on your foot. Yeah.
I was talking to Tyler Barnhart a few days ago, and he told me something very funny. And he said that his only request for his costume designer Michelle was like for Charlie to have fun socks, and she like
Yeah.
delivered. She did that happen. It was only
Uh,
when it came down to Winston's clothing. Did you have any requests?
Well, no, there was no request. I was always very luckily surprised when I got to go try the clothes on, and the clothes that they had pulled out for me. It was really lucky, and they put such good clothes on Winston, and so I never said anything because I just let the good magic roll. You know, you don't have to say anything, and uh, they had no requests. I just didn't want to wear the cap and gown at the graduation. That was the only thing I didn't want
Really? Okay,
to wear. Yeah,
that's not your thing.
yeah, yeah, not my thing. That whole funny little hat
Yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah. So
uh,
when they told you that you were going to be a series regular for this season, did you feel more pressure than you did feel when you agreed to do the third season, knowing because you were going to have a much bigger part this time?
yeah, there was a lot of pressure. I mean, in the very first, yeah, there was pressure all throughout, but um, you know, the third season, the very first time when I was shooting, I was so scared and so because I didn't know anything about Winston. I only had a couple of days before I had to go shoot him. Before you know, I had to figure out this person and go do this thing, you know, with Timothy, and that was the party scene. And so then it was only a few times back and forth. They brought me back for the third season, and then you know there was nothing. It's kind of like just let you out in the wild, and you got to go and find your own you know, meet again, and you got to go hunting, and nothing was really happening for me. So I took a break and went to Traverse City with my wife. And we have a little cabin out in Michigan, northern Michigan.
Mhm.
And you know, we were there for a couple of months, and then you know, my agent called me telling me that we had booked the fourth season, and that's when yeah, there was a big bowling ball that fell, and I had to run with this. And so we got back to Los Angeles really quickly, and then I immediately was asked for a coach, and if it wasn't for him, I'd probably be a terrible job. I'd really do a terrible job in the show.
No, great job.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but I'm
It's all
happy
right.
they no, but I'm actually happy that they expanded his part, because new characters obviously are what keep a show fresh, right? So
Right. I am too. I am too. It's like they got me a job. Yeah, or else
right,
I'd
right, right.
still be struggling.
So one of the very best, or for this season, it's actually I think it's the best reviewed episode is the season finale itself,
Yeah.
which sometimes seems to be like an impossible thing to do, because even other big shows like Game of Thrones or How I Met Your Mother were dealing like with fans being very unhappy, and for whatever reason,
Yeah.
sometimes because they feel like it's rushed in a show. Of course, you have many characters, and to find closure for everyone seems to be a very hard task. So, how much does it mean to you to have been a part of a show where the finale succeeded with the fans?
Well, I'm very lucky. Yeah. I mean, but it's Brian Yorkie's. He did it. He directed and wrote that last episode, and he didn't sweat at all. He just made it happen. He just took it step by step and knew how to really, because he he gave birth to these characters. I mean, he wrote them, and he knew what they were thinking more than the actors themselves were thinking it, maybe. And but Brian Yorkie, he was like the wizard behind everything. And but really working with Brian when he was directing that last episode was really fun. He likes very subtle movements. He likes subtle acting. He likes subtle camera work. He doesn't like anything too extreme. And this guy really knows how to put a period on something. And so he did. He knew that he really had to make the final episode final.
Right.
Yeah.
And one thing that is so lovely, I think, is that when you go to social media and you check what the fans are saying and how they're
Yeah.
responding to, um, what's so great is that many teenagers said that the show, especially this season, made teenagers come out to their parents. So, which is a big thing.
Wow.
So,
That's amazing.
yeah, totally. And I was like, I was thinking, wondering how much does that mean to you to know that you were part of a show that gave like the final push that made them
Right.
find their confidence to go to their parents and go like, hey, that's who I am.
Well, I'm so lucky to be in a show that actually has the capability of doing something like that. I mean, even if it did it for one person, that's a huge show. It means it really means something to somebody. But to do it for multiple people to come out to their parents, I mean, that is fucking amazing. It really is.
Absolutely,
To
yeah.
really be honest and free with themselves. I mean, that is the best gift ever, really. And those parents should be lucky that these kids really know who they are and who they're becoming, and so then they can really accept them for who they are and just keep on going.
Right, right. And speaking of the parents, I like about the show that we saw multiple coming out stories. We saw like good ones in this season with Alex and Charlie, and a not so good example,
Right.
unfortunately, with Monty in the last season. So, and I think it's like very important to show both sides, because not only are teenagers watching the show, but also teenagers with their parents. So parents see both versions, and they could go like, you know what, I don't want to have this broken relationship like Monty has with his father. I want to have like this happy, good relationship like Charlie and Alex, and I prefer to go this way. And if it's like, if I can achieve that by just accepting my son, then I'll do that. So what's your opinion on that?
Right. Well, it's hard. It's really up what the individual is attracted to. I mean, Winston was very attracted to Monty. I mean, he's a big buff guy, beautiful, handsome hunk, and he likes a little trouble. He likes a little he wants to work on somebody a little, or and you know, he wants to feel cuddled too, or it's that whole you know, Latinx thing, and no, with him, you know, and you know, but with Charlie and Alex, you know, Alex needed someone to be safe with. He needed to be safe,
Right.
and he didn't, you know, he didn't want to be in any more dangerous, emotionally dangerous relationships, and I can understand that too. And you know, for the parents watching, I just, you know, all you can do, you can't really change anything. You can't change the kids, because it's always like you know, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And if you tell the kid, don't do that, they're gonna do that. So
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. That's how it goes.
don't say anything. Just listen. Just listen to what they're saying, or how they're feeling, and what they're talking about. You know, pay attention to them. And you know, I really liked the Alex and Charlie couple. That couple, that was a very sweet couple. I mean, Winston wouldn't prefer it that way, but yeah.
I mean, like episode 9 was like pure sugar. I mean,
yeah, pure sugar, right?
Thing. Yes, totally sweet. Yeah. I of course wish Monty would have had that too, but he what I like about the show is that all the teenagers at school, they don't care who's gay, who's bi, who's straight. That's just, they just think like, oh, that's a great couple and stuff. But if you go back like only 10-15 years in movies and television shows, when you had gay characters, they usually were only there to be the sidekick for jokes, or if the gay character was just for a long coming out story. And when that character came out, there was nothing more to tell about the character, so that was already it. And here they are more, they are all more open-minded, and I think it's great, because I feel like if you normalize gay relationships in a television show, that can also help to normalize it for the audience. And I feel like that whenever I have like conversation with my niece, she goes like, yes, we have like 2-3 gay guys in school, but nobody cares. But when I was in school, that was different. So it's only 10-15 years. But so do you believe that movies and television shows were able to normalize it for the audience by normalizing it in the shows?
Yeah, you know, Carmen, that's a good question. Even when I was in high school, it was an okay thing for everybody else. And what I believe is that if it's not okay for those kids in high school who, you know, I mean, if there's people in high school who don't think it's okay for other people to be gay, it's like, you know, we should be questioning their own sexuality. Why are you hating on people who know who they are? That means you don't know who you are. And then you should take a step back and look into yourself. And what did I say? And but it's damn. Forgot what I was gonna say. It just went right out. It was genius, all right? It was freaking genius what I was gonna say. No, I think the wind blows from the west to the east, you know, when we're making movies out here or TV shows, and the message flows. I mean, people watch TV all the damn time. They watch movies, they watch Netflix, they watch Hulu, everything. And, you know, it's what we're making today is the future for tomorrow. And the messages that we have in our movies are really spreading everywhere. And hopefully, you know, the TV and movie industry is always the one to say, this is okay, so let's make it okay. Kind of spread that good message in a story. So I'm really glad what Ryan Yorkey did. And he, you know, he's normalizing gay relationships, and that's a wonderful thing. I mean, that's a fight. They still have a long fight to do, you know. Gays, LGBTQ and that's society, and they still have a long fight to go. But shows like this will really help that fight.
Absolutely, definitely. When it comes down to Mondi, it showed that even though that even Diego said it, he wouldn't care if he would have come out. That would not have been the problem. So, but Monty was very troubled, and he had like uh, problems admitting it himself. Even when he was together with Winston, he said, I'm not gay. So he was like having this conflict with himself. So, would you say that before you can, and this counts for everyone, not just for people who are gay or not, but would you say that before you can get others to accept yourself for who you are, that you first have to accept yourself for who you are?
I think you need to be okay with yourself. I think the end goal isn't for everybody else's acceptance of who you are. I think the day-to-day process is the day-to-day process is you trying to get closer to knowing who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And when people figure out that, when they see you walking down the hallway or the street or in the cafeteria, you know, and they see that, wow, you know, Jimmy's exactly who Jimmy is. He's just being himself.
Mm-hmm.
We can, that's something that we really need to understand. And it's like, wow, he can just be himself, and I'm holding all this thing, and I'm the popular kid, but Jimmy's being himself. And but it's not about Jimmy being cool and being accepted for everybody else. He's just acceptance for him. That's all that it needs to be.
Right.
I think. Yeah.
And there's also I was so when I watched the fourth season, I was so surprised by episode 8, but because it's so similar to what is happening right now, and it felt like it was like really made like for this time now. And I love about it that you guys show in the show that it is so important to don't be quiet and to express your opinion and to have a voice when you see something you disagree with, because if you would have like had, I mean, when this happened to Diego, the whole school was looking at him getting arrested. But if it would have been like 2 free teenagers saying, hey, I'm not okay with that, the school or the police could have said, you know what, it's just 2 free opinions, we get rid of you guys. But it was everyone sticking together, and that's what made the change happen. So, and unfortunately, right now in real life, there are still many companies and people who prefer to stay out of the conversation and to ignore it or to be quiet, even though if they would like agree that it's not right. But the problem is if they sit at home and saying, you know what, it's not okay, but you know there are people out there, they fix it, so there's no need for me to be there as well. But so what would you say how important it is for everyone to don't be quiet and to say it when you don't like something?
It's the most important thing you can do. And that comes out with everything. That comes out with racial injustice. If people are coming off with, you know, awful jokes, you need to say that's not okay. You need, if a person is talking bad about a person because of the color of their skin, that you gotta say that's not okay. And you see, the way we have to do it now is we can't get up and fist fight. We have to be able to be calm, present, and not shaming someone. Because the minute we shame somebody, saying that's not okay, you foolish asshole or whatever, and you call him names, and then all of a sudden he's just gonna get pissed as poking a bear. But as many as you do it with love, they all of a sudden take a step back and they don't know where to go, and it really hits home to them, and hopefully that they really need to change. There's something up with them. That's who has the problem. And I think it's so important, and I think power to the people for standing up, and you know, fuck the feds, fuck the government. We don't, you know, and I love that. I'm a bummer that they didn't get me into that riot scene. I wanted to throw some books at some cops. And
well, that would have been great.
Yeah, I know, that would have been fun, huh? And but it's so important to stand up. Keep standing up. We have to keep going.
Absolutely, couldn't agree
This
more.
show hasn't this yeah this show has impeccable timing for all that stuff. Brian knows exactly where the angst is about to pop. You know.
Yeah, it's like he had a premonition. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Just running on feeling, man. Running on feeling.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So what I like the what we've seen huge development in Hollywood in the past years when it comes down to diversity and to give more opportunity to black actors and non-white actors in general. But there sometimes you feel like studios are not doing it for the right reason, because I remember there was a big movie coming out like 5 years ago, and it felt like super diverse if they had like someone from Mexico and from different countries, and you but then like the studio got leaked, and then you saw that yes, they did cast someone from Mexico, but they were looking who's big, who's already a star there, because they were hoping like, okay, we can make money in Mexico, or we can make with this actor from Germany, we can make money in Germany. So do you believe there's still also some work to be done behind the scenes, so that you know that this whole movement is done for the right reason, because they really mean it, and not because they think they can make more profit in other countries?
Well, I think the movement is only for behind the scenes, and that's not just in filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
And behind the scenes, in front of the camera, in all aspects of life, and that's the way we think about Black Americans, the way we think, the way we it's not only has to do with movie business, it has to do with the whole world, and how do we make it a level playing field for all, you know, for all. How do we make a level playing field? So of course not just the movie business, not just the TV business, all businesses need to, you know, kind of break down, look at it, reconstruct, and go at a new way of thinking. And you better, or, you know, the people will take over eventually.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes when I read like, you know, casting calls, they already say like, okay, we're looking for a black lead, and we're looking for this role, we're looking for someone from Brazil, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's the right thing to do this, you know, like this decisions before? Because sometimes, correct me if I'm wrong, sometimes it feels like race separation again. If you go like, okay, there's this big movie, and for this role we're looking for someone from there, for this role we're looking for someone from there, it feels like you're not allowing like, you know, black actors to compete with white actors. And yeah, what's your opinion on that?
Well, I think it comes from the writer's aspect. Who's ever writing the movie, you know, first of all, has an idea of the character and who that person is, and then, you know, then eventually, if someone wants to make the movie, a producer or director, they don't care what the writer thinks, and they'll just put in whoever they want.
Right.
And you know, if I don't know, you know, of course but you know, this is we're competing, we're competing against each other for not competing. I wouldn't say competing, because you can't. I mean, there is no other you, Carmen. There is no other me. So
right,
there's not a race between the both of us. So I guess it's up to the casting directors to really find that perfect person, no matter who it is, for the character.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Deacon, thank you so much. That was it.
Carmen, thank you so much for having me. It was
Absolutely.
a pleasure.
Thanks to you, and hopefully we can repeat that when you have another project coming out.
Yeah, I can't wait. Hopefully I do.
Absolutely, yes, of course we will, and hopefully we let me know when Angel feels ready to have his own interview too.
I will. She's a little shy like me, but you know, we'll get her going. We'll get her some questions and we'll get her going.
Yeah, she'll be fine.
Yeah. Thanks, Carmen.
Good
seeing you.
One. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Of course. Thanks. Bye-bye.